Episode 14, ladies and gentlemen. We did it. We've made it. We are here. We are rolling and drolling. I don't know what drolling is, but we're doing it. Episode number 14, I have a very awesome repeating guest for you. It's the Miss Anna Waite. For those of you who do not know her, she has been friends with me for years and is never going to stop being my friend. She is by far one of my favorite people in life. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself real quick, Anna?
Hi, it's your girl.
You can do a little bit more than that. You can tell me about you. You can tell me where you work, where you're from. Obviously from Boise.
I'm from Boise. I don't know what to say about me.
You tell people who. Okay, do me a favor and talk as if you're talking to somebody who's never met you before, and they want to know what do you do for work?
I work at a spa and salon. I work at a coffee shop right now.
Okay.
I have experience in the fashion industry. I'm huge into fashion and music and my gays. And my birthday's this month on the 31st. I'm about to be 25.
Right on. So this is our guest for the day, guys. We're going to talk about quite a few fun things. And before we get into it, I do have to pay the bills here. Treasure Valley Barber Co. Treasure Valley Barber Co., as you all know and love, is one of the best sponsors of the podcast. And this episode is brought to you by them today. They are not quite getting ready to open up just yet. They are opening after the 16th, not on the 16th like everybody else might be. So we'll keep you updated on that, guys. But one thing you can do to support them is go buy a hoodie. Go buy their hoodies. They've got awesome swag. It's phenomenal. Please help them out. Again, that's Treasure Valley Barber Co. They are on Instagram. They are located right off of Shinden and Maple Grove in Boise, Idaho. Actually, Garden City. Excuse me. Then, Gem Mindset. Jet Set. I always want to say Jet Set. Gem Mindset clothing, guys. Eco-friendly and stylish. Use code EClothing18 to get 10% off your order and look real good while you're fucking doing it. Thank Colby Waddell for that one, guys. Thank him. And those are the ads. Quick and easy. We're going to call it that today. Miss Anna, I believe we're actually going live on your Instagram. This is the first time we've gone live on somebody's Instagram. You got some pretty excited people over on your story so far? How many people we have? 5?
12.
Holy shit, that's more than I've ever had on any live thing. Well, I have this show, but clearly people listen to it post-production. What do you think we should start with? Should we start with questions on that, or should we go off kind of a couple of the things that we wanted to talk about on your list here, and then let people kind of start trickling in?
Yeah, I'll say it on here. Again, if you're on my live, we are trying to talk about relationships, breakups, anxiety, depression, being single, dating. If you have any questions or about me or Casey, or just life advice or our thoughts on certain topics, that's what we're doing. That's what we're talking about. So, I have a bunch of people saying something though. Gemma's Clothing is my friend's brother's clothing line.
Yes, it is a local clothing line, guys. That's why we support them here on the YoungBloodPodcast. Again,
locals only.
Locals only.
Paddles Up Poke. Find me there every fucking week. And Yoitomo Sushi.
Paddles Up Pokey. If you would like to sponsor this podcast, there is an availability for free pokey. Always. We would love to have you. So don't be afraid to hit the line and get on. And one thing I did forget to mention, we got the man behind the camera today. We got Camden Sutton. You got to give him a shout out. Can't really show him, but he can silently change the cameras, and there we go. That was him. So thank you, Camden, for that. I think we should get it started off with relationships. Relationships are always a fun thing to be in, and also a very fun thing not to be in. I've had my fair share of relationships. I've been in I think 2 actual relationships, and the rest of them were just flings and dings. Dings.
You've only been in 2? I didn't know that.
I've only been in 2 major relationships in my entire life. I've dated Miss Caroline Cole. If you're listening to this, you might be. I've noticed you watch my shit a lot lately. And she who should not be named. She's got a name, but we ain't gonna put it on the podcast because anyways, I have so much to talk about in relationships. This is why we're gonna talk about it. How about you? How many have you had?
I've had 4 serious relationships.
Jesus.
And I don't think that's a lot, but
I'll drink to that.
I mean, hearing yours is too. I'm like, damn. I have one like every 3 years though.
That's true. I'm usually single about a year. I think the fair amount of time for anybody to be single should at least 6 months at the minimum.
If that.
Like at the minimum, if you date anybody before 6 months of being out of a relationship, that it's clearly a rebound and the person dating you knows it. It might be a little harsh to say, but it is an honest to God truth. You fucking know you're a rebound and you're okay with it.
That's the fucking truth. I don't believe in rebounds, though. I think rebounds are toxic and a bad way to handle breakups. Personally.
I believe in rebounds. You know who you are.
Casey, we're gonna be under fucking fire with this podcast.
Your point? That's why this
God.
is why people like listening to my show, because the one thing they've said to me, and the biggest compliment that I get, is that it's not a podcast feel. It's a conversation feel.
For sure.
You know, this is very genuine. It's very natural. I don't edit. This is all one fucking run. I don't take anything out. So if we fucking say something stupid, it's going in. You're committed. The second you sign up for this show, be ready to say some stupid shit and have it on the internet. So maybe just don't say stupid shit.
There you go.
Me, on the other hand, I've already gone in some of my other shows that it's like I can't really get any worse. I can try to keep a consistency of not getting bad all the time. But, you know, to my listeners out there, all 4 of you, it used to be all 1 of you. Now it's 4. All 4 of you guys. Hayden Midkiff. I don't know who the other 3 are. But thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for checking in. If any of you did listen to Anna's previous podcast, you know, this is a different one because this is actually in the Young Blood studio. You know, and it's not over the phone. This is in person. And the last one was a bit more of a conversation that we needed to have to catch up, you know. Mm-hmm. So this is more of her time on the show, her time to get some of the things she wanted to talk about. And I really, really am excited to see how the live aspect of it's going to go.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and it's also different in a lot of ways, too, because I feel like I'm such a fucking different person, too, since the last one. I mean, it's crazy. I think maybe it's like only like maybe a month apart, but... Fuck, I'm in such a different headspace and everything. Like, wow. So this will be good. I'm excited. I'm so excited. I'm in such a good headspace. I'm so happy. And yeah.
I'll tell you this right now. Like you kind of mentioned earlier, you said podcasts are therapeutic in a way. Mm-hmm. Coming on them, doing them for me. I absolutely love doing this. Like, I'm not going to sit here and beat a dead horse because I talk about it all the time. I love doing it. I'm going to keep doing it. And for those of you that enjoy the process with me along the way, fucking hoocha. Appreciate you. Please, by the way, in the name of hoocha, check out Clay's episode, man. I fucked up so bad and didn't hit record for the first 40 minutes of the hour and fucking 20-minute podcast. So there's only 40 minutes up on the internet right now of it. And it's the funniest thing is that 40 minutes is still so epic. Like, we missed out on some awesome content, but do me a favor, go check the guy out. He's fucking great. Anna's even better.
What?
Just in general.
Yeah, I
not to downplay her episode. This is why you guys are here, you know. So, but check out that one after you finish listening to this one.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so Okay, Sarah's asking how many podcasts are there total. How many do you have? We're on the 14th one now?
So this is the 14th one of the second season. So this is almost my 30th episode.
Oh, shit.
I've been going hard. I really have been fucking grinding on this. Like, I have over 3 full 40-hour weeks of just straight grinding put into the show. Like, I have genuinely given a shit. Like, and if it wasn't for COVID-19... this would never have been a thing. I would not have made the time. Like, I'm back to work now, and that's actually the hardest thing about the whole podcast is balancing this plus balancing work, you know. And if it wasn't for having Camden here, it's fucking, I have to do the cameras, I have to switch everything, I have to do everything. I do the post-production, I do the pre-production, and having somebody to just do a little bit of that fucking helps.
Fist bump.
Fist bump. But yeah, this is episode, and who asked that?
Sarah from Meraki. What's her last name?
Meraki girl.
Meraki, my hairstylist.
Oh, Sarah. Yes, hey girl,
yes.
what's up? You know, you could. I wish you could get me in there too. I mean, we could have done it to where we sat next to each other, but I've got this so set up in a station that it's like, I ain't fucking moving it.
No, it's Gucci. It's Gucci. Chantel, it is Murray. Sarah Murray.
Yeah.
Chantel's asking, how has this content changed since then?
The content of the show? I mean, like, it hasn't really. Like, the what's been covered on the show has been very consistent as far... Sorry, guys. Oof, Jesus. Crikey. Fucking Batman.
You do locals. Casey does, like, Boise locals around town. It's a small town. Everybody kind of knows everybody. Everybody has a story.
Right.
That's what I love about it.
A lot of it started out with industry people. Like, it was kind of based around... Because I did a series about the coronavirus, and I did a series kind of talking about... so if you do check that out, it's not fucking good. It's absolutely terrible. It was my first 10 episodes of a podcast that I had no idea what I was doing, and then I was working on it. So, you know, if you do check that out, take a grain of salt. There's the video production's dog shit. All of it's dog shit. But it's grown a lot. So the content hasn't necessarily changed, but the production value, the effort, the video quality, the editing, everything else has increased, you know. And before I only had the one mic. Now I've got mics for up to 4 people, you know, and I've got multiple cameras. And now the next move is to get 2 more camera angles to add on top of these 2 to where we can go camera 1, 2, have more. Sorry, I forgot to breathe. Have more. But the content's the same, man. It's based around Boise people and Boise locals. There's two podcasts that I've done with people from out of state, you know, that were over the phone. But everybody else has either been like Colby Waddell, if you guys know him, DeAndre Woods, Clay Lyle. I've got Anna Waite, you know, and the most following so far is from her and the episodes we've done. So I'm sure this one's going to catch some attention from some people. And, you know, there'll definitely be some really good clips that I'm going to make. And that's the hardest part about the whole thing, too, is not the podcast, not the meeting and talking to people, getting to people to come on the show. There's a line of people about 5 long that come on the show. But it's making shit for, like, TikTok and for Instagram and just ripping these large file format videos and high quality audio to be on a mobile phone. Mm-hmm. Holy shit, dude. That takes 2 times longer than the actual posting on YouTube and on Spotify and all of that.
Yeah. That's amazing. I'm so happy for you.
I'm happy to be here, man. I'm not going to go anywhere. It's, but again, back to kind of where we were talking about. We were talking about relationships. And Sarah kind of got us off topic. It's really easy to put me on a tangent, so don't.
Keep asking questions, guys.
Yeah, questions are great. This is the first time we've done the whole live thing, and it's really fucking cool. Live broadcast on a live show. Who would have thought? Whoa.
We got 14 people on. Again, we're talking about relationships, breakups, anxiety, depression.
And feel free, guys. Ask any questions. You know, ask me questions. Ask Anna questions. And we're still on the first topic of relationships. You know, and we kind of brought up the number of relationships we've been in. I don't know. What else can we maybe talk about on relationships, Anna?
Do you prefer being in one or do you prefer being single? That's the question of the year.
It takes the right person. Because anybody should prefer being single. If you are a happy person, if you are happy with yourself, and you truly think that and feel that, you should want to be single. And somebody should come along and make you not want to be single. That's where it's at. You should never look for a relationship to get out of a feeling. You should never look for a relationship to get a void filled. It should always be somebody that makes you change your lifestyle. That's like, I want to fucking be in a relationship with this person.
Fuck. I feel that. So I'm looking at questions too. People are asking hella questions. So we're going to fucking be all over the place, I guess. My friend Deanna is asking, dating in Idaho versus LA, pros and cons.
Ooh, corn-fed bitches.
I don't even know what that means.
Oh, corn-fed Idaho grown, baby. That's what you look for when you come out here. That's what we want, you know? Like, when I lived in California, I dated. I went around. I did the thing. I was born and raised there, and I dated in high school. Cool. But what really mattered was going back after high school, you know, and I love you, my puppy. Sorry if you guys heard that. My dog's whining. And going back to California was what made me realize, like, there's some gold women up here, man. Like, this is fucking prime pickings. Because you go down to California, and I don't know about you guys. Let me fix my shit here. I like white girls. I just do. I fucking love white women, and I grew up in LA where white women are actually not very fucking prominent. You don't find them everywhere you go. It's culture. Lots and lots of culture. Mm-hmm. So I came here and I was like, holy fuck, there is no culture. You know, I was like, whoa, like this is a very different thing. And I thought I liked it, you know, I was like, okay, cool, you know, fucking all these Latinas and stuff and all this like LA lifestyle. And after about a year, I was just really like, fuck being here. And I literally said to myself, I remember sitting in my fucking chair in my room in my house in LA, and I was just staring at the wall smoking a fuckload of pot. It was legal then in California. We don't smoke pot on the Young Blood podcast. Tobacco only and alcohol. Those are all legal things. But when I was in California, I was sitting there getting baked as a cake. And, you know, it just came to me one day. I was looking at the wall and there was this fucking big picture of the beach next to me. And I was looking at it, I was like, I don't fucking care about that. I don't care about the beach. I want some corn-fed bitches.
And that's why I don't date here in Idaho.
And again, Anna's one of my closest friends, so I talk to her like the guys. You know, she's like, I have no shame with this woman whatsoever. And I have no shame with this podcast whatsoever. Fucking come at me. I've already had people. I've had people come at me about my guests and about on Michael's podcast. He went on a rant about Trump, and which is okay, cool. I asked him, I was like, how do you feel about Trump, dude? And I had a couple beers and we were getting at it. Some girl went off and was like, you tell your friend this and that and this and that and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yes, ma'am, I totally appreciate you. You know, if you really feel that way, go on my Instagram, comment about it. You know, that's how I am. Like, if you got a problem with the podcast, if you want to express your voice, I'm not going to delete your fucking comment because you told me to go fly a kite. You know, like, I'm going to fucking sit there. I'm going to read, for now, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to read them. I'm going to include you in it. We're small enough at this point. I'm not a huge fucking popular podcast. Like, guarantee if you go on my page and you comment something on it, you're ending up on the show. Like, you'll be on here, you know. And there is one thing I did want to actually say about somebody ending up on the show. It's really funny to me when you have somebody pass away, and you know, this is just something that's been irking me lately.
The tea is brewed.
So I don't know about you guys, but to me, I'm Italian, and respect is Jesus Christ. I'm putting that down. Okay, and respect is fucking huge to me. It is the biggest thing in my family. Like, my dad used to come at me and be like, you fucking respect me, dude. You can do whatever you want. Just show me goddamn respect. That's just how fucking Italians are. You respect. Okay? And in the Italian culture, when somebody fucking passes away, you show the family respect. I don't give a fuck how much you know the person. I don't give a fuck if you fucking had dinner with them 1,000 times or once. It's called respect. And that is something that is really fucking important. And you know what? When somebody passes away, that's what's important, is the respect, you know. And we have a personal friend who likes to make it about who is closest friends with somebody and stuff like that. And I just wanted to throw out here on my podcast, since I have the ability to do so, shut the fuck up. It's about the friendship. It's about the experience. It's not about your experience. Don't fucking worry about what I did with my friend. She was your friend in your way. She was my friend in my way. Anyways, back to relationships.
Okay, anyways, I'm going to go off of what Deanna said too, dating in Idaho versus LA, pros and cons. Me personally, the difference between the men in Idaho versus LA, which is pretty obvious, is the men in LA don't want to settle down. They're all like 30, mid 30s, whatever, and they still think they're like 22. There was a guy that I was like really interested in for the longest time, and he was like almost 30, and he, like, even
you will never meet my brother.
Why?
Because you will love him.
Is he a hipster?
No, he's 35, lives in LA, is a private photographer, runs his own business as photography. He's literally Anna Waite.
Well,
but it corresponds with what you're saying.
Yeah.
He's 35 years old. He lives in LA. He's single, and he lives the life of a 25-year-old bachelor still. Mm-hmm. And there's no sight anywhere that I could see of that changing. Like I can't see no.
Nobody wants to settle down, and obviously here it's like everybody wants to settle down. They want to get married at 20, have kids at 25. So it's a huge change. Me personally, I don't know which route I'm trying to go towards. I don't know if I want to settle down. I don't know if I should settle down, but that was the big thing, was guys acting like they were 18, 19, almost 30, fucking bachelor pads, lots of money, trying to buy bitches. And I personally didn't like that. I like dated obviously when I was in LA, but there was nobody that I ever like saw a future with, that I was ever like, oh my God, this is it.
Right.
I personally feel like my type of person though is not in Idaho. I'm really into like artsy men, men who like a fucking Tom DeLonge, where you at? But I don't know. I don't really see that so much here in Idaho, but that was the huge difference. Everyone talks shit in LA that lives there as far as dating is a huge joke, and I agree. So that's like the pros and cons. Don't date in LA. Everyone doesn't want to date in LA. And if you do date in LA, it's probably a club promoter. So that's my discussion on it.
Dating men versus dating men from Idaho versus dating men in California. Guys, that's where we're coming from on this. And who asked that question?
Deanna, one of my good homies, Deanna.
Let's give her a shout out. Deanna, everybody's asking a question today. They get a shout out. So just throw her handle out, do the whole 9 yards, man.
Deanna Rowe, R-O-E, Deanna's how it sounds. She's one of my homegirls. I've literally known her since fucking 3rd grade. Shout out to Deanna. Someone else asked, let's talk about best advice to get through a breakup during COVID. Baby girl, I am your queen as far as this goes. I feel like everyone's been breaking up. Everyone broke up before or during the fucking pandemic. I noticed
a lot more of them are just fucking, it's kind of funny too. They all were like, oh, fuck my relationship, blah, blah, blah. And then they got thrown into fucking quarantine and are like, damn. Be real nice to be watching some Netflix and chill right now with anybody but my left hand.
Oh, God.
You forget you're on a comedy show, woman.
Me, I'm like little like Mother Mary. I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy. Actually, no, I'm not. But everybody be breaking up. And it's a sad time. I was actually reading something the other day that statistics show that a lot of people break up actually either right before or during spring break, which sounds accurate to mine.
I don't see that being inaccurate at all, actually. Fuck. If it's weird. I was looking on my Snapchat memories, and that's a fucked thing, guys. You got Snapchat memories from fucking relationships that you really don't give a fuck about, and you're just like trying to go throughout your day, and all of a sudden you got like 7 photos from 3 years ago of you making out with your ex. And like, dude, why the fuck are you trying to show me this? Like, I wish Snapchat had an option where you can be like, I'm not with that person anymore, so it takes them out of your memories. Because like, it's cool to see like, hey, I want to go back and look. But for them to be like, hey, you were doing this 7 years ago, Yeah. It's not necessarily my favorite thing. But I noticed a correlation with the timing like of spring break. I'd either gotten into a relationship around that time or gotten out of one. All of my relationships have either ended or started within the month of May. Or like June, within these 2 months.
Spring break's March.
I'm talking about, I know, I'm just saying like this time of year. So for me, it's a month off, but 2 months off. My math is fucked. But you get the point. Like it's this time of year, the beginning of fucking summer, shit gets weird for people.
Yeah.
The end of winter, you just went through that whole long fucking spiel with the person you live with or whatever, where you're with them all. That's when you really know. Like, I can be with this person. I've experienced the holidays, especially in Idaho. I've noticed way different in Idaho versus California. You have time to go outside still. You can get away from each other. But in Idaho, you kind of have like a solid 2 months where it's so fucking cold outside that you just don't want to go anywhere. And you genuinely just don't want to leave the house. And like, there's the only person that you have to do that with. So you both just don't want to go anywhere, so you're just forced to hang out all the time. And I can see that kind of correlating with a lot of breakups too. Like maybe Idaho might have a higher rate of relationships ending badly because of the winter. You know, like when I was in California, that was never an issue. You could still go to fucking pool parties on Christmas. You know, you could. Here, like if you tell somebody you're gonna go fucking swimming, the first thing they say, "Where, you got an indoor pool? Hey, where the fuck you swimming?" No.
Yeah.
But who asked that? Who asked that one?
She asked Chantel, if I'm pronouncing her name right. Honestly, though, the best advice I can give, I don't know if you're going through a breakup. I'm going through a breakup. It's hard. It's extremely fucking hard, let me tell you. Every breakup's hard, but especially during a pandemic, oh my God. And you have to sit at home and fucking think about the entire thing and go through and process it. Like, I'm like, I just want to go out and dance and like hang out with my friends and forget about it. But you really got to sit with your fucking emotions. But I am such a firm believer. You have to process every stage of the breakup as much as like a lot of people don't, you know, like the grieving and the anger and the acceptance. Like, I've been through all the stages and it sucks, but
you had to do it more than you would have if you weren't on quarantine.
For sure. And I feel like, honestly, because I processed all the steps in such my own time, I feel like the breakup's gotten easier than most. Like, I think, not my most recent ex, but the one before this, I think it took me like a year and a half to get over him. But he was playing all kinds of fucking mind games, and I was seeing him all over, and he was like doing crazy shit in my head. But now, I don't know, maybe because I've been through so many breakups, I know how to process them properly, and I felt every fucking emotion and just really accepted it. And I mean, now I'm kind of at that stage where you start to see why things didn't work out. I feel like once you get to that point where you're like, this wasn't healthy for me anymore, I have to accept that it's over. You know, also hope. I think having hope in no matter what situation, a breakup, a tragedy, whatever, is the strongest thing you can have. I was actually watching a sermon.
Like hope that it'll work out, or just hope for yourself? Or?
No, hope. I was watching a sermon today. Rick Warren, he's my favorite pastor, and he talked about having hope in a tragedy or any situation, because hope is what helps us basically look forward, light at the end of the tunnel.
Right. And
not hope for it to work out, but hope as far as like, I don't know, I'm really religious, so I'm like trusting in God, like hope, like, you know, this didn't work out for a reason, so there's something better for me. There's always happiness where there's pain, and the pain sucks right now, and the pain hurts right now, but oh my God, I cannot wait for the day that I sit there and I'm like, either this doesn't hurt me anymore, or I now understand why things had to happen the way that they did. Hope. I mean, I'm like, now that I'm obviously like in a way better headspace, I'm like thinking about all these things I plan on doing with my life and what I look forward to and what I'm working towards. And hope and motivation is like your strongest thing to get out of a breakup, honestly, because you can sit there and mope all day like I've done, but at the end of the day, it's like you still are a person and you're a soul and you have a fucking life to live. Right. And you have hopes and dreams and aspirations, so you need to go work towards them. And it sucks that someone leaves your life, and it sucks that, you know, someone can't stay in your life, but people teach you lessons who choose not to stay, and the people who stay are the fucking homies and, you know, who are meant to be in your life. And that's my best advice. I could go on about breakups all day, because I think breakups, as sad as they are, they're so fucking beautiful at the same time, and I become such a different person after every single one, because you learn so much about yourself, and you gotta like kind of really be comfortable with yourself. And
one thing I can say is it's really, really important when going through a breakup, especially when you're broken up with, because those are two totally different things. Like if it's a mutual breakup, or if it's a breakup that, you know, ended in a way that you had to break up with them because they cheated on you, which I feel is the same as being dumped, because you feel like you got dumped in a way like that. It's very similar. But one thing I cannot stress enough of the importance of is self-worth. Finding things that make you feel good. Finding things that make you feel like you have accomplished something. You need to find a fucking habit of some kind, and if you don't have one, get one. And once you master, start that one, start 3 fucking more. Because you know why? Those things that give you that self-worth will pull you out of any situation. I'm a craftsman. I build shit. I fix things. When I'm fucking pissed off, I'll go in my goddamn garage. I'll build a fucking table. Out of anger. I'll angrily build that table. I'll put that shit together, man. Fucking yeah! but I'll feel fucking good after because I'll look at that table and I'm done. I'm like, damn, I built that. I don't give a fuck what I was doing while I was doing it. You know, I'm just angry. What I was thinking about, all of that goes out the window. I look at that table. I'm like, that gives me worth. That's what I'm about. So my biggest advice that I could say is I didn't go through a breakup during quarantine. I went through a breakup where I could go do whatever the fuck I wanted and numb it. Sweep it under the rug as long as I fucking could. And I did. And that causes somebody to really drag it out. Like, it causes your brain to fucking, it takes you 10 times longer than it would if you just sat down and you were alone with your emotions. And one thing that I actually did, fun story. I remember my last breakup, I had Camden drop me off at the top of Bogus. No phone, no car, nothing. I was like, drop me off at the top of Bogus. I got a bottle of whiskey, and I didn't even think I had weed. And I was just like, drop me off, pick me up in 2 days. I need to think. That was like the day after the breakup. I was like, I need to be alone with my thoughts. And I did. And the only reason I came down early was because there was somebody else up at the campsite that I was at, and I didn't have a gun or anything, so it made me super uncomfortable. So I had actually ran into Mason Morgan. That's how I met Mason fucking Morgan, one of my really good friends from the bars downtown. And the way she met me is she fucking was walking up Bogus with her friend just to go on a day hike and ran into some random fucking dude in the middle of the fucking woods, just sitting there making bacon with his dog. And they're like, what the fuck? I'm like, yeah, you know, like, to this day, we're still really good friends. But what I did in that, long story short, is I forced myself to be alone with my thoughts for like 24 hours. You know, I didn't make it the full 2 days because I was like, hey, dude, I borrowed a phone from Mason. So I ran into her. I was like, hey, do you have a phone real quick? I don't have a way to call my friend to come pick me up, you know, because of the guy that was there. It was just really fucking weird. Really weird. Like, I even approached him with some coffee and shit to like try to like make sure it was all kosher. You know, and then, like, he wasn't there when I went to go approach him, so he was, like, disappeared from his truck and shit. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck this guy was doing. So that's why I left. But the 24 hours that I spent just, like, forced to think about it. You know, like you were to do in quarantine. Like, you really don't have any other choice but to sit alone with your thoughts and accept them. And that's huge. You know, don't, like, it's so easy to say, don't go out and fucking do what I do and go party like a crazy motherfucker until you just can't anymore and then keep going more. Sit alone with your thoughts. You know, I guess you're asking for advice. This is the best thing that you could be going through. It sucks. But at the end of the day, aren't you glad that that's how you had to do it?
I mean, it fucking sucked, but I was also, it's funny you mentioned that because I was reading something too the other day that girls and guys handle breakups so differently. And girls, just the way our brains are processed, we, just like I said, process the emotions right away, kind of accept everything, and then we're over it in like a month or two. And it's guys who like sweep everything under the rug, and then it's like 6-8 months later, and they're processing it, and the girls like moved on, fucking happy.
Holy shit, yeah.
And then they come back, and us girls are like, no, we're fucking over it. Like, you can't just come back when you see us doing better. Like, that's bullshit. But I mean, everybody's different. I know some very emotional guys, and I know some very like mature guys. I think it's maturity a lot of the times, to be honest. I think it's a lot of because like just like how we were talking about rebounds earlier. I just like, I don't believe in rebounds. I'm like, why would I hurt somebody just to try to get over somebody else? Like, it doesn't really make sense to me.
Question. Is it a rebound if you're open with them about the fact they're a rebound?
I have no idea. I have never had a fucking rebound in my entire life.
I mean, I can honestly say with like every time I've had a girl that's like questionably too soon, I'm always like, dude, you don't want this right now. I'm straight the fuck up. Just like, why are you here? I don't know. You're cute. And I'm like, dude, fucking, I will hurt you. And they still fucking stay. Like,
girls think we can change guys.
They
That's
do.
our problem. That's our problem.
I was definitely in every way.
Yeah. Dude, it's fucked. I mean, I've never been one of those girls, but every girl I talk to, they're like, I thought I could change them. I thought I could be that one girl. And
I've been a project.
No, like, the way they are is the way they're going to be. And that's just it. I mean, maybe one day they'll want to settle down, but until then, it's like.
That was my biggest problem with the starts with a V, ends with Veronica. It's like, I was just like, hey, dude, like, I'm so not what you need. I was transparent as fuck. I was like, dude, I'm like, I wish I could be, but I'm gonna be straight with you. I fucking suck right now. Like,
I wouldn't tell any of my friends to date you.
Fuck no, you wouldn't.
I'd literally be like, stay the far fuck away from Casey. Bad news.
Yeah.
I'm good at reading people and vibes, and I'm like, honey, no.
But can you not say that when I do decide to date somebody, I'm a very different person?
I don't know. I haven't known you when you were in a relationship. I was in LA when you were dating that one girl.
I don't know, Cam. Would you say I'm a different person when I'm in a relationship? He nodded. Okay.
He vouched.
So that makes me feel a little better. I'm honest on my podcast, guys. At least I don't lie.
So, okay, Sarah asked, do you feel more productive being grounded and in a stable relationship, or do you feel like you are more productive being independent and free?
I feel like you shouldn't be in a relationship unless you feel grounded and productive.
Amen to that.
You just shouldn't be. Like, that goes right back to what I was saying. It's like, fuck, dude. If a relationship makes you feel grounded, you need to find something that makes you feel grounded other than a relationship. And then get into one. Mm-hmm. That's a good question. Sarah, with the kills today.
I know. We love Sarah. I agree. My last relationship, personally, I got super lazy. I'm one of those girls, like, when I don't date often, but when I do, like, you know it's someone special. Casey, I don't think you've ever seen me with a boyfriend besides the last person I was dating. And I love fucking wholeheartedly. But my problem...
Who's that?
But my problem is I just get too in my feels and too all about them and obsessed with them that I forget myself and what I'm about. And that's where it spirals. And that's where I'm learning now, where in order for me to be in a relationship, I need to be able to balance both myself and what I want to do and also the relationship. And until I can properly and healthily, if that's a word, do both of those, I can't be in a relationship. Because every time I get in a relationship, I lose myself so much. And then we break up, whatever. And then I'm like, who the fuck am I? What do I want? Blah, blah, blah. And then I bounce back. And I'm like, why the fuck did I get that twisted and turned? I'm just like, oh my goodness. Like, you have to be able to know yourself and what you want, but be able to do that in a relationship. And I haven't been able to find the correlation quite yet.
Do you feel like it's better in a relationship to break up and find yourself and fix yourself in that relationship, or since the fact that you're already in the relationship, try to do that together?
Okay, you're gonna make me go off on a tangent.
That's great. That's what we're here for, baby.
I am such a firm believer. I mean, maybe I'm a hopeless romantic, but relationships are hard.
They are.
It's two lives coming together as one and making it work. No relationship is perfect. You are two completely different people, want two completely different things. The most beautiful thing is when two people sit there and say, I want you, and I'm not giving up, and we're gonna fucking do this together.
Right.
Nothing is sexier in my fucking head than someone's like, you are everything I want and more, and I want to fucking go through life with you.
Right.
The trials, the triumphs, everything. I feel like our generation gives up so fucking quickly, but when shit gets hard, oh, I don't like that she does this, or I don't like he does that, like, we're going through this right now. That's fucking life. It's
Are your parents still together?
They are. They are.
Yeah, so that also might have something to do with it. I come from a family where my parents are fucking 32 years happily married. And he's like, clearly that's what I'm raised to want. You know, I grew up in a fucking household with 4 kids and 2 very happy parents that are still married to this day. You know, so my idea of the American dream is at the end of the day, a wife and a kids and a fucking dog, dude. Yeah. You know, like, that's what I want. And you know, there's the idea of being in love with that, and there's the idea of being in love with the person that you're in love with, you know, and some people are just in love with the fantasy. You know, they're in love with the fact that I want a relationship and I want a wife and kids, and this is the first person that I've been able to find that with, versus them being like, I genuinely just fucking love this person. So it's a super fine line. But I'm personally very big fan of, like, if you're in a relationship and you're with somebody, dude, like, and if you guys don't cheat on each other and shit, work it the fuck out. If cheating's not involved and you guys just have some issues, you can fix fucking issues. You shouldn't necessarily have to go to therapy, but if you're both willing, you don't go to couples therapy. Fuck that. it is so goddamn okay to talk to somebody. You don't think you have problems, you'll find out you have some. You know, and I think the people who are unwilling to talk to somebody, who are just like, they're against therapy, they think therapy is a bad thing, or they think it's not for them, I think those are the bad people. You know, because it's, to me, that's just saying that you're not willing to put an effort in, that you think you're perfect. Nobody's fucking perfect, and that's the first step, is admitting that you're not perfect, and admitting that to yourself and to your partner. Because that's fucking what matters. If you can tell your partner about your issues and about your problems openly to them, to where they can maybe help you with that, that's a really important thing in any relationship, you know? And I guess if you can't achieve that, that's where it comes back to maybe you guys should break up. Because if you guys genuinely can't come to a conclusion where you're both structurally building each other, you know, if it gets to a point where you're putting each other down, you know, you're not building each other's foundations, you're not putting... In life, you need to build your foundation on a rock. There was a scripture that I read, actually. It was super amazing. And God wants you to build your house. Okay, he wants you to build your house, but he doesn't want you to build it on a foundation that's not solid. You know, so do your right by God. Build your house on a fucking solid rock. Not on a sandy, falling fucking mountain. Like, set yourself up for success. And do that for your partner, too. And that shit really hit home for me. I was like, build your fucking foundation. Build it on a rock. Build it rock solid, you know? And I can't remember. I'm butchering it entirely. But it goes along with those lines. Anyways, on to the next topic.
Let's see. Somebody on here was like, was this Starbucks boy? Yes, that was I love how she knows. Oh my God. Long story short, there was this Starbucks guy that I was dating in LA. Absolutely obsessed with him. He was in a band, everything. He ended up being a piece of shit, played a lot of mind games with me.
Was this Starbucks?
He didn't want to settle down, almost 30. So I was like, okay, bye.
Still working at Starbucks?
No, he was like working there to get health insurance while he was in his band because he was a musician. But that one was so crazy. Like, life is so crazy. I was, like, obsessed with him, so butthurt over it. And then I moved here and then actually ended up falling in love with somebody else. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Like, sometimes the people you think you want to be with aren't the best for you. And that was Starbucks boy. Chantel, Austin, Texas girl. Fucking Sarah. Oh, my God. Yes, Tom. Tom DeLonge, always. My dream man. Either Tom DeLonge, Leonardo DiCaprio, or that's all I can think of for now. Chantel said the worst part is all the time you have to think as far as processing the breakup. So worst part. I have sat.
Chantel, are you currently going through a breakup, darling?
Sounds like it. She's like, need some distractions, healthy distractions. Honestly, my healthy distractions during my breakup during quarantine, thankfully I was still working one of my second jobs, so I was still kind of getting some social interaction. But mine was honestly what changed my life was journaling. Specifically, I have a prayer journal, writing in that and just my thoughts and emotions and hopes to God and trusting him and what he has for my life and whatever. I mean, I don't know if you're spiritual or not. I really am. But, I'm telling you, the prayer journal, like my life has changed. Like I can never go back and not have a prayer journal.
Even if you're not into prayer, if that's not your thing, personally I like it, she loves it, Camden here, and we're all God people, but and a lot of my listeners aren't. One thing I can say is I don't personally have a prayer journal. I fucking write. I write like the motherfucking, I don't even know, I just do it. I didn't do it before. Like I was the kind of kid in class, second grade, when the teacher says free write, I'd rock out 4 fucking pages of a free story like I was fucking goddamn Mark Twain. I didn't understand it. Like I could literally write so well when I was a kid. And math, I'm fucking terrible at. And it's funny that I do math for a living. I'm a goddamn contractor. I mean, I used to help Camden write his papers in college. And I didn't go to college. I used to fucking sit there and be like, I'm good at writing. And the first fucking thing that I started doing through my breakup, writing letters to my grandfather who passed away. Because they weren't letters that were going to be read. They weren't letters that were being sent to somebody. They were just my feelings being put on paper, expressed in a way that I need to talk to you. I need to tell you this. And my grandfather to me was the perfect example of just somebody that I could neutrally talk to and that I really just respected in my mind, that I knew that when I told him a story or when I told him my side of things, it was a very structured, respectful story that I wasn't being biased on myself. I would give the full honest truth. And to me, that turned into something great, because from just writing letters to my grandfather, I started writing experiences. I started writing stories, and pages and pages and pages started coming out of this. And I actually met this girl, and she's amazing. She's went through a lot of my writing and was like, you should turn that into a book. That would be a great book. And I was like, no, thinking about it. And I look back, I'm like, dude, I literally have an entire journal full of letters to my grandfather about my life. Mm-hmm. And that's changed me as a person in every way. Whenever I'm upset, whenever I have shit going on, or whenever I have free time, I write. Mm-hmm. You know, my advice to anybody, pick up a fucking pen and paper, grab a journal, jot it down. Or, you know, shit, if you don't got a dead grandpa you want to write to, write that letter to that person you want to talk to.
Yes.
Just don't give it to them. Don't fucking give it to them, okay? Write that letter. Don't give it to them. You're going to want it, too. You're going to write that fucking letter, and then you're going to write it 6 more times, and you're going to be like, this sounds so fucking good, they need to read this. No, it's for you.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where you really get, like, you hit home. You're like, this letter wasn't for them. It was to them, but it was for me.
Yes. I used to think writing was a bunch of bullshit, and then someone I knew had a prayer journal, and this book I just finished talked about having a prayer journal, and there's just something about writing it down and getting it out of your fucking head, because my problem is my thoughts. My thoughts are the most evil things sometimes, and what really get me down. And sometimes I'm like, I just need to write this down, put it out there, and I swear on the Lord Jesus high above me, when I write it down, it is fully released from my body.
Right.
And it's just a whole different therapeutic experience for me. And like I said, it's changed my life, honestly, and it's for yourself and only yourself. And I can't wait to go back a year from now and read back at these old like things I've been writing and be like, look how fucking far I've come.
That's the best part. Oh my god! Like I said, I was huge on writing when I was a kid, but I haven't been a big journaler. I have never been into it. And then my breakup that I went through like last year, whatever time it was, that kickstarted it for me. That really was like, I need to start writing this down. I need this for myself. And it's been over a year now since I started doing that. I started doing that during the relationship, not during the breakup. So during the relationship, I started just journaling to help myself and to write and to feel these feelings that I needed to express somewhere. Mm-hmm. You know, and I hadn't realized that I actually started doing these writings during the relationship. I thought it was only during the breakup that I was doing it, but there was full pages of like feelings that I had felt that really brought back like logic into my head. I read these fucking things and I was like, holy fuck, dude. Ah, man, I was not well off. You know, when I read it, I just looked, and it's not like I wasn't happy, but it was just like I could read how much I wanted to be happy. Mm-hmm. And comparing that to where I'm at now, where I'm like, yeah, you know, I suffer from depression and shit all the time, but that's just your goddamn everyday depression, you know. And it kind of put the difference between the two of me thinking, oh, I'm still kind of depressed, maybe I'm still hung up on my ex, blah 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 blah. No, I went back and read it. I was like, nah, motherfucker, I'm just a sad dude sometimes. Like I listen to sad music, I like sad shit, and I like to write. Like I'm a fucking sad boy. Mm-hmm. And that made me realize that. And it also made me realize like I'm always just kind of a sad boy sometimes, but at that time of my life, I was a motherfucking unhappy person. Yeah. So you're gonna be happy in a year from today when you go back and you're like, damn, dude, I'm stoked. Life is good. Life is awesome.
Dude, I'm already there. I mean, my next thing, too, I was going to say is just surrounding yourself with good-ass people. Like, I have some of the most amazing friends and family who do nothing but lift me up and give me, you know, remind me at the end of the day, I'm a bomb-ass bitch.
You're here.
And if somebody didn't fucking see that, like, someone else will. And I can't wait for the day someone sees, like, fucking the sunshine out of my ass. Like, having people around you to remind you are so loved, and just even Instagram, for example, like people, you know, see that I'm like down or upset, and people who don't even know me, they're like, girl, I've been following you for years and this and that. Like, you guys have no fucking idea how much it means to me, because there's been days where I'm like, no one cares about me. If I fucking fell off the face of the earth right now, no one would fucking give a shit, like blah, 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 blah. And then when people come out of the woodworks and remind you like who you are and like your vibe and your energy, I'm like, wait a minute. I ain't that bad.
And it takes your friends sometimes, man. Like, you forget. You genuinely... A relationship makes you fucking forget who you are. And not a relationship. Okay, don't get me wrong. Not relationship. A bad relationship. If you really are invested in a bad relationship, dude, it puts you in a shitty fucking spot. You know? And it also really takes situations like that to bring the best out of you.
For sure.
You know, like, look at you right now. You're going through a breakup. It's already over. It's gone through. And how do you feel?
Amazing.
Exactly.
Like I said, I feel like a whole different person. And every time, okay. And also too, with this sermon I was watching today, holy crap. Rick was like, without, oh God, I hope I don't butcher this. He goes, without change, there is no growth.
Right.
Without tragedy or grieving, there is no change. Oof. So when he said this, Oof. I said, wait a damn minute. He said, without change, there is no growth. Without tragedy or grief or heartbreak, there is no change. That hit me like a fucking ton of bricks. I said, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Facts. Because I think of all the times of all the crazy shit I've been through and who I am now. And I'm like, it's always been a tragedy. Right. It's always been a sad situation. And again, that goes with like hope and wanting to change and just like being inspired to be a better person or just be more positive and loving. And he said that and I was like, oh my gosh.
Remember, it's not the river you fall in that kills you. It's the way you get out of it.
I love you so much. Well, and also too,
it's the way you get out of it. Think about it. If you fall in a river, you've got two options. Get the fuck out of it or stay the fuck in. It's how you handle it.
And he said that too. He said, you don't just kind of go over tragedy. You fucking gotta go through it.
That's how you handle it.
You gotta go through it. And it's unfortunate and it's sad, but it's what makes you a better person is how you go through it and
right.
how you process it. And oh my gosh, I was like, wow.
You know, and I genuinely wasn't expecting to do a podcast on such a touchy topic as this. This is we are a comedy show. You know, this is not a show that, and honestly, like, again, this is a show for Boise locals, guys. Like, I've enjoyed every person that's came on this show. I've enjoyed everything about doing this has just been awesome. And I really hope that I know I'm not a fucking love guru. I'm just somebody that's been through relationships too. But one thing that I can say is that got me through a lot of my shit was reading audiobooks and podcasts. So if there's somebody out there who listened to this podcast today and it genuinely helped you, I am so grateful for that. You know, it changes my life every fucking day that I see results from this, because I'm not doing it for the results. I'm doing it because this right here would have never happened if I didn't have a fucking studio in my house, 2 mics, and a buddy here fucking handling cameras. This conversation with 12, 13, whatever fucking people you have live right there in this with us, this is a thing. This is happening, you know, and I really genuinely hope there's somebody out there that this may be helping, and thank you. Thank you for listening.
I know, and that's why I'm so about this podcast, because I'm like, even if it's just like you said, one person it reaches out to, and I know I have such a voice, and it's just like, I want to be able, you know, God's been calling me to do all these crazy things lately, and I'm like, if I can just help one person. It was another thing in my sermon I watched today was, usually during heartbreak, you know, the best way we get through it is confining in other people,
right,
and having other people to support us, because he literally said there's no better way for someone who's been through a divorce than another person who has to give advice, someone who lost a child, someone else who, you know, lost a leg in the war. Like, people give advice and help each other through similar experiences,
right.
And I feel that so much, and especially my audience, specifically on Instagram. It's like, I know it's about a bunch of young girls, and we're all fucking getting our hearts broken, and we're all going through shit, and we're all going through life and who we are and trying to figure out our stuff. And it's like, I just want to help somebody at least. And I mean, look at you, just like having all these people on here and just like talking about a bunch of shit. It's just like, it's so beautiful what we're doing. You know, it's really so beautiful. And I love it. I love it so much. And it makes me so incredibly excited. And I'm so excited to be on here again. Am I still the only female that's been on here?
Actually, you are. You are the only female to ever come on the Young Blood podcast. Not only just once. This is her second show. Granted, this is the first show in person, and also, like, I hate to sound this way, but I'm kind of weary with having girls on because like I don't have a whole lot of really close girl friends that I can like trust. But the crazy thing is like it's gone from people like me calling you telling you about this podcast, all this shit that I'm doing, and now I literally have 7 people that I have to catch back up with and be like, they hit me up to be on the show, and I'd be like, oh fuck, like I am running out of time to do this. I'm not like this is something that I'm literally working day and night. Like I get home from fucking work and I start doing edits. Like this is a full-time fucking gig what I'm doing here. It's and I didn't know what it would be. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know it was going to grow into something like Safe and Rondell Grant Jr. and Safe, I think it's Nashad. Excuse me if I butchered it. I'm so sorry. I love you to death. Don't fucking yell at me. But in their show, they said this one thing, and that was, dude, there's one person out there that thinks this is fucking dope. There's one motherfucker out there who has found this podcast genuinely that you do not know that thinks this is fucking dope and what you're doing is fucking dope. So keep doing it. For that one fucking person. For that one fucking dude. Whoever you are. Hayden Midkiff. Whoever you are. I call him out on every show, baby. I hope you fucking... I know you listen to this, you son of a bitch. Anyways. So... We wrote down a few topics, and I don't know how far we've gotten through those topics. We've had a lot of questions.
I know. I had like a bunch of questions. I was slowly going through them, and all of a sudden my live chat ended. I just saw like Chantel said something really quick, and I missed it. And then Sarah was like, "You're so well spoken. Thank you."
Me or her? Come on.
I'll be 25 next month, but I had this guy in the coffee shop the other day I was talking to, and he's like, "How old are you? 28?" And I was like, "No." But mental maturity, I'm there. Okay, so I've got us back on live, and people are obviously joining. So
were we disconnected for live for a bit? Was that what happened?
I don't know. I don't know if it was like because it was long, or maybe we lost the Wi-Fi or what. But we have still people on. So again, guys, we're talking about relationships, breakups, anxiety, depression, being single. People are asking questions on here, and we're just kind of talking about them, discussing them. I had a bunch of questions that I was slowly going through, but we lost the live. So, if there's anything you guys want to say.
Sorry, guys.
You guys have any advice, questions, or topics you want us to talk about, please do.
And while you guys are thinking about those, I believe we might even have a few things written down. How far are we on our list?
We're kind of all over the place, but...
This is a great podcast, by the way. It's not...
No, this is so good. This is so good. Sorry, we have like fucking noises in the background. These microphones pick up every fucking thing. But I had a bunch of people ask me questions on my Insta story kind of regarding these subjects, and I had a few people ask some things. So somebody asked me about anxiety and our thoughts on anxiety medication. So I have anxiety. I do not take anxiety medication personally. I feel like me personally, just the things I've grown up and I've seen, I try to stay away from medication kind of like that. But I know a lot of people take it. I've heard a lot of amazing things about it. I know it's helped a lot of people. My dad personally takes like Valium and like Xanax and all that stuff because he has really bad anxiety. But I personally have other ways I cope with my anxiety. Chantel's back on. She's like not a fan of meds for anxiety.
Okay. I have a very interesting standpoint on this because I was somebody who very, very avidly was against medicating for anxiety for a long time because I'm a heavy, in California, I was a heavy pot smoker. Not here in Idaho. I don't smoke pot in Idaho. But in California, I was a heavy pot smoker, and I was a big advocate for using that to help with my anxiety and things like that. I'm also somebody who suffers from TBI. I have had traumatic brain injuries, and I didn't realize this until I had, because I've had TBI in the past. I've had 7 concussions before I got into a really bad car wreck, split my head open, 10 staples, whole 9 yards. Brain damage, a lot. Basically, I went through a major series of depression after the head injury, and I didn't realize that my head injury had caused my depression to go through the fucking roof. Like I was in a bad spell. Like I was absolutely out of myself. I was not myself. I didn't feel right, and it was crazy to me because I'm the happiest go lucky guy you'll ever meet. I always have been. I'm a crazy motherfucker. There's not a single person in the fucking world who knows me and will deny that. Not. Right. Well, both. So, yeah. So that being said, I started taking not depression medication, but very, very low dose anxiety. And all it does is it just kind of takes a little bit of the edge off. Just because, dude, I own my own business. I run a podcast. I live by myself. I have a fuckload of shit going. I have more gray hair than any 25-year-old should have at the top of his head. You'd be surprised. Like, but that being said, I suffer from major depression and anxiety. And I was a huge advocate for not taking medication and doing all this stuff. And then within the last 2 months, I just started taking a very mild, low dose of an anxiety medication. And I take it every day in the morning. I'm consistent with it. And I personally believe that the right medication for the right person at small amounts can be safe and okay. I am not a big fan, though, of depression medication because it's a psychosis thing. It changes the chemical balance in your brain. So does the anxiety pills, but the ones I take, they're so low and mild that it just helps me see that I feel that edge. You know, I'm like, I don't really realize the edge is there. I'm just always anxious. But when I take that on a little bit, I'm like, oh shit. Okay, I guess I am really fucking anxious all the time. That helped a little bit. And it took me taking them to notice, you know, and I don't rely on them. I don't need them. Camden's over there choking on his wine.
He's choking on fucking wine. Oh my god, I saw that from afar.
But anyways, if you take medication, good for you. And if you found healthy ways to combat your anxiety that shows results, and you can meditate and you can do, first of all, exercise. Huge. Fucking huge. If you're fucking depressed and sad, get up off your ass and take a run. Tell me how you feel after. Okay, that's the best medication you can ever fucking take. But some people don't have that willpower. They just don't. They can not physically get up out of bed and push themselves to do yoga, to fucking fix their life. They genuinely don't have that push. And sometimes it takes a doctor, not even a doctor to prescribe you something, but it takes a doctor that you need to go sit and talk to. It goes back to where I said about it is so okay to get help. Like, if you need to talk to somebody, there's so many options, especially nowadays with this COVID-19 shit. We got Skype. There is counseling programs. You can text somebody. They will literally sit there with you any time of night and just talk to you if you need to talk to somebody. And that's the biggest thing, is accepting the fact that, hey, I am depressed. What can I do about it?
Yeah.
You know, and it's really nobody but you can decide that. Nobody but you can make that step. And if you aren't okay with medication, there's other ways too. But, you know, being somebody who was an advocate for not taking medication, who thought there was other ways, and then started taking some, you really just you can't knock it till you try it. Like, there's ways. I don't take fucking 9 bars of Xanax in the morning and go about my day like the fucking Sue down the street housewife lady. Yeah. You know, with 7 kids and who got prescribed Xanax and numbs her mind with it. That is not healthy. But taking a healthy, regulated amount prescribed by a doctor, I think is totally okay.
Yeah. And I have that kind of depression too, where it's bed crippling.
Right.
Like, you can't even fucking get out of bed. But like, I've kind of realized everybody has kind of different depression, and like you said, there was someone I knew who had a really bad head injury too, and his depression stemmed from his head injury. And I didn't realize like it was like that, to be honest.
I didn't realize it until after I saw the doctor, because I took time away before I went and saw the doctor, and the doctor was like, "Are you depressed?" And I was like, "Well, dude, I almost fucking died, but, you know, I feel okay. Like, I think I'm okay." And then genuinely deep down, I was like, I have no reason to be sad or upset, but, like, I would still wake up in the morning and just be like, I'm healing right now. I was on bed rest, you know. I was supposed to be at home resting, but being a contractor, somebody who can't work, you know, that put me into a deep spell of just like, it was lack of purpose. You know, and that's why I say, like, if you are going through a breakup, if you're going through something that gives you this really heavy feeling of I can't get out of bed, do something that makes you feel good. You fucking sing. You write music. You get depressed. You write a song, and you're like, that song makes me feel good. It gives you a lack of meaning, or gives you a feeling of meaning, a feeling of purpose. And that is the best thing you can do for any anxiety or depression.
Amen. Chantal's on here, and she's like, I'm glad it has been helpful for you. I honestly have become self-aware of when it is coming on and what causes my anxiety, which that is a huge fucking step too. I have like this weird thing where I fucking chew the inside of my mouth when I'm really fucking anxious.
Or grind your teeth.
Mine is I
or
chew
clench.
my
Do you
mouth.
Clench?
I clench in my sleep, but I chew my mouth, and people literally, they're like, what the fuck are you doing? And it's when I'm in my fucking head. I'm sitting there and I'm like thinking of all these things, and I have really bad anxiety, and I just chew the inside of my mouth, and it's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing. My friends are like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm just like, bruh. Like, I'm about to fly off on what I'm thinking about right now. But, I mean, that doesn't help me, but it makes me, I don't know, that's just like one of my weird mechanisms.
I do the same thing. You know, like I'm a bad grinder. Like I fucking chew, dude. Like I don't know what it is when I go to bed at night. Fucking, you can literally hear me from across the room mowing the lawn, dude. You're like, Jesus, bro. And actually, weird thing is, like, if you suffer from shit like that and don't have a mouth guard, go buy a $3 mouth guard. You won't realize how bad you grind your teeth at night until you actually use one of those mouth guards and you wake up in the morning, you're like, whoa. And then actually using the mouth guard consciously kind of tricked my brain and said, dude, you're doing that a lot. Like, you need to tone it down. And using the mouth guard made it to the point where I stopped grinding my teeth as bad. Isn't that weird? Because it really made me realize how much I was doing it, because I was doing it so subconsciously.
Yeah, I know. Stress, anxiety, and depression, fuck, the things that it does to your body, like, is so sad. Like, it's so fucking sad.
Okay. Let's see, we are halfway down our list on points. Or we have more questions. Oh my God, our fucking listeners are awesome. You guys are amazing.
I know, this is so awesome. Thank you, guys. Somebody asked me, well, I guess this could be a question for you, too. Fuck, this is a tough question. What was your biggest regret through this breakup?
Ooh.
I know.
Who wants to answer first, Anna or Casey?
I'll
let you go first.
I know.
First.
I'm like, I don't have any regrets. I absolutely love the person that I had the relationship with and think he is such an amazing person. I don't live my life with regret. If anything, I wish I could go back and relive a lot of the moments that we had. I don't know if you would think that as a regret. I think maybe the thing is just appreciating the time that you get to share with the person more. There's so many things that I'm like, fuck, I wasn't fully in that moment. Like, maybe you're like texting on your phone, or you're thinking about other things, and I feel like when you go through a breakup, you kind of think about old memories and fun times, and it's like, I sit here and I'm like, I wish I was more in that moment.
Right.
It's the only thing I regret. Regret is a hard one, because I feel like when you start regretting, then you let the relationship and the breakup kind of overtake you, and you start spiraling into this whole, like, I could have been a better person.
You've tried so hard to pass on the regret that you don't want to bring back those thoughts. Like,
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like none of us know that the relationship's going to end. Like, you think you're going to be with this person forever, and then you break up, and then you're like, oh, I wish I could have done this. I wish I could have done that better. But then I don't think that's a healthy way to process things, personally.
Now, are we talking more about regret during the relationship, or regret of what we did in the post-relationship breaking up? So that's a good question. That could make the answer two totally different things. Because to be 100% honest, I don't regret anything that I did in the relationship, because I put my best foot forward as many times as I genuinely could. I tried my fucking best. I gave it my all, and it didn't work. And that's why I felt okay with it at the end. I was like, that's what got me through it. It was knowing that, dude, it just didn't fucking work. That not having regret is what got me through it. But if we're talking about what I did after the breakup, there's a lot of shit I regret. Like, I ain't gonna fucking lie. I regret a lot of shit. But during the relationship, having that feeling of I genuinely gave it my all, that'll get you through anything. Because you're not a bad fucking person. You really aren't. Like, if you did everything you could and you genuinely wanted the best for that person as well, what is there to regret?
I'm right there with you. I think the thing that's kind of helped me accept things more is I wasn't perfect, but I would have fucking, like, laid down and died for this person. Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's like, I lost somebody who kind of gave up when shit got tough, and they lost somebody who would have fucking done anything and everything for them and would have never given up. And like I said, I think that's the hardest thing to find nowadays is somebody who's fucking wanting to fight with it just like you and say, you know what, like, this shit sucks, but let's fucking get through it. And that's when people get married. That's when people, you know, really make the relationship work, is they fight for each other. And when someone doesn't fight for you,
when they don't want to fight, you
can walk away happily and be like, you know what, like,
I was fighting.
Yep.
They weren't.
Yep.
What do you do? And that gets you through it, man. It. You did nothing wrong. You did nothing wrong.
I mean, at the end of the day, we're not all perfect. There's a lot of things I could have done differently, but relationships don't always work out, and that's
the only way you can look at it. It's the only way, because these questions are great. They're great, but these are definitely questions from people going through a breakup.
Oh, because a lot of people.
A lot of people asking? Oh.
Chantel says, if your partner wants to lay down their gloves down, let him. Amen, sis. Like, that's my fucking thing. I'm like, if you're not going to fight for me, I'm not going to fight for you. If you're not going to want me, I don't want you. You can't force something. You can't make someone love you. You can't make someone want you. And if you try, it's going to fucking forced. Break you at the end of the day. Yeah. And like I say, nothing's sexier than someone who wants you just as much as you want them. And
to an extent. Some people find that unattractive, because think about it. You're forcing a relationship in a way. Yeah, that person's like, I'm willing to do anything and everything for you. But there's people out there that literally, they don't see it that way. They see it, in my case, for instance, it wasn't like that. I was putting that effort in, but the relationship was already so far gone that me trying so hard bugged the other person. So it could be a double-edged sword too. It really can. It's got to be for the right person. That person's got to see it as that. They got to see it as this person's trying versus you're trying too fucking hard.
Or maybe they're not trying at all. I feel like that's what my person was thinking, and I totally get that because I'm fucking not perfect at all. And my thing is I'm hella fucking jaded, and I'm just like, I don't know how to properly give myself in a lot of ways. So that's, I don't know. Breakups and relationships.
You guys are hitting the home over here.
Yeah, I'm man. Like, fuck. I mean, a lot of them know, like, I was, like, dating somebody, but.
We don't name drop unless you're me.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. So
I'm the only one allowed to name drop.
Chantel's like, you guys are discussing if I was going through a breakup. I'm not, but a lot of my friends seem to be, and I'm looking for ways to support them.
And you have awesome questions, and thank you so much. You are amazing.
If you're being a friend that's supporting someone through a breakup, like my friends, literally, like, literally text me and they're like, what the fuck are you doing today? We're going out, we're doing something, because they know otherwise I would just stay in bed and fucking be depressed. Or I have friends who constantly are like, do you realize, like, how hot you are? Like, come on, like, get the fuck out of here. Or my friends who, you know, just basically know so much potential that I have, and they're like, okay, Anna, like, yeah, this sucks, but look at all these things that you have done and what you want to do. Just being a supportive friend is so important, and I can't express it enough. Like, if I did not have my fucking friends through this thing, I don't even know how I would have gotten through this. It's you gotta fucking support your people.
That's awesome. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for being a good friend.
She's like, I'm actually in one of the toughest relationships I've ever been in.
Oh, so this is, you're not going through a breakup, but you're thinking about it.
She's like, only because he challenges me and we point out each other's flaws to better each other.
Ooh, that's a good thing.
It's really hard when the person you love is telling you there's something they'd like you to fix, especially if you should fix it for the better of the relationship. Oh, girl.
That's a healthy-ass relationship right there.
That was mine, baby. Like, I think that's healthy as hell for someone to be like, yo, like, you kind of fucking suck at this, and you willing to work on it.
And it's all about the approach, though. It's all about, you can tell somebody they have fucking problems, and then you can tell somebody they have fucking problems. There's two different things. Sure. You can say, hey, I genuinely feel if you worked on this, it would better us. Or I could say, you fucking suck at communicating. There's two different ways to go about it, and it really guides the fucking rest of the conversation. Sit down, you look somebody, hey, I feel like we need to talk about this. And if you like, I have a fucking podcast. I could talk all goddamn day, and I dated somebody that hated hearing me talk. So it wasn't going to work, dude. Just wasn't going to fucking work. But if you can find somebody who genuinely wants to listen to the end and fucking hear you out, keep that. And
it comes down to for fighting for each other.
Yeah.
Like, for someone to sit there and, like I said, no relationship's perfect. Everyone has issues. Everyone has problems. What I do, my partner might not like. For someone to sit there and say, let's work on this, and like Casey said, the approach, that's so fucking important. Oh my God. But that's amazing. I mean, it sounds like this person that you're with, like, wants to fucking make this work. And I love that because, again, that goes back to fucking people giving the fuck up when shit gets hard, and then they fucking walk out and they think the grass is greener on the other side, and then they go to the fucking other side and they're like, wait a damn minute. Like, someone who's fucking worth fighting for is fucking worth fighting for. And people don't realize that until it's too late. And it's sad. It is so fucking sad. That's my rant. But she said, but it's well worth it. Done blowing up the chat. LOL.
No, you are welcome to blow up the chat. We love you. We love you. We love the listeners. This is also the first live we've done on Instagram. We were going to do it during Clay's podcast, I think, but this is the first one. We made it happen, and I'm so happy it was with Anna since she has more followers than I do.
Someone said, so depression is a big topic in this world. Do you think some people take advantage of being diagnosed with depression?
Oh, yeah. I mean, so there's you can have depression, you can be depressed, and then you can use depression. Okay? You can say, you know, I fucking struggle with it, I have depression, or you can sit there and you can be kind of an asshole. You can use people. Yeah. And at the end of the day, that's a big fucking problem. I know a few people. I ain't going to name drop. I ain't going to say it. I know a few people that are like, hey, I know you suffer from depression, but they're like, oh, I'm so depressed. And I'm like, dude, figure it out. You know, like...
And there's a huge difference between being sad and being depressed.
Right.
And I think because depression is such a huge topic in our generation right now that people think, oh, because I'm sad, I must be depressed. I mean, I get sad, but it wasn't until like a couple of years ago where it was like, I'm so fucking sad. I can't even leave my bed.
Right.
I have no fucking hope. Like I said, if I fell off the face of the earth right now, no one would fucking care. When you start having dark thoughts like that... That's when I'm like, okay, it's spiraling into a depression state.
Right. Well, for me to get my anxiety medication, I literally told my doctor that my dad had let me try his medication, and I think it would work for me. And she was like, here.
Damn.
Yeah, it was that fucking... But I personally knew that I needed it, you know, but for somebody who didn't, they could have gone in there and used... Would have taken them 2 fucking seconds. It was so... And this wasn't even a doctor that was my primary care practitioner. Unfortunately, my situation, like, I actually wasn't going in for medication for depression. I have major ADHD and ADD. It's very bad. I have literally, when they prescribed me with Adderall, they prescribed me with fucking 40 milligrams in the morning, 10 in the afternoon, and 10 in the evening. Yeah. That's how much Adderall they gave me, like that. They were just like, dude, what the fuck? Like, you are ADHD, bro. And... my doctor, unfortunately, moved to Texas, so I had to find a new doctor. And when I went to my doctor, I was like, hey, so here's my scripts. Here's what my doctor prescribed me. This is my primary care for years. She's like, well, you need to go see a therapist and all this, and like, which was kind of cool for the Adderall. They kind of made it hard for me to get the Adderall again. But long story short, it was just kind of, I was in there to get Adderall because Adderall, when you have ADHD, it combats depression. ADHD can cause depression. It can, because it's a chemical imbalance in your brain. It is. And it's one of the side effects of ADHD is depression. Also, on top of having head injuries, I fight it pretty hard. So to me, I just wanted to go to the doctor to get put back on medication that I've taken before, that I was comfortable with. I didn't really want to fuck with depression medication. And the only reason I did was because she was like, you need to go talk to a therapist. You need to go through 20 more hoops just to get put back on your meds. So I tried the anti-anxiety stuff. You know, I didn't really want to. So it's kind of weird. Like, you can definitely take advantage of the system in that way. Like, there's so many different ways that you can, and it's so fucking easy to. I hate to say this too, but fuck, dude, I got the Adderall prescription when I was in high school. All he said was, I can't focus. Yeah, and she was like, here you go.
And I hate how they turn to, like, medication so quickly, and that's what's sad is... I mean, I don't know, though. I'm personally not on any anxiety or depression medication, so I have no idea as far as how people use it and how it works for them, but I'm such a firm, like, natural supplement kind of girl. Like, I'm just, like you said, go exercise, go write, go listen to music, go find things that make you happy. That's how I personally cope with it, because I don't want to be on any medication for it, but... it's a real fucking thing, and people have really dark state of minds, and, you know, whatever's fucking working for you, whether it's
doing
medication or not, keep
doing podcasts, taking medication, whatever works for you, doing it. It's okay to feel that way. And that's the hardest thing to understand sometimes is, guys, it's okay. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be upset. Nobody's going to come at you and say, what the fuck's wrong with you? No.
Well, and again, in the sermon that I was watching today, is the pastor was like, God doesn't expect you to always be okay.
I feel like you need to give this sermon a solid link or a shout out.
Rick Warren, It's like Rick Warren.
I love how you just dropped the F-bomb right. Oh, man, this fucking sermon.
I have the mouth of a sailor. But it's Rick Warren, and I want to say it was like dealing with heartbreak or how to deal with heartbreak. I'm telling you, if you're religious or you're interested, look up this pastor on YouTube. He talks about everything as far as relationships, heartbreak, finding God, dealing with tragedy, whatever. And the thing I like about him is he really speaks to me as a young adult, because you know how pastors can get a little boring, get a little over your head, you don't really understand.
You zone out a bit. It keeps your attention, though.
Yeah. The things he say, I relate to so much. And, oh my gosh, it's so powerful, the things he says. But Rick Warren on YouTube, anything that he basically says is beautiful. And I've finished one of his books, and I actually just ordered a second one, because I'm, like, trying to read all his books now. And I finished the book, The Purpose-Driven Life, and it changed my entire life. I actually thought about giving it to you, because it is...
I would love to read it.
You read a chapter a day, and it's just basically about your life and following God and finding your purpose in life within God.
Right.
And oh my gosh, it's so good. And yeah, it's but I mean...
And don't forget, when you're done hitting the subscribe button on his channel, hit up YoungBloodPodcast, guys. We are YoungBloodPodcast. I forgot how to spell for half a second there. I was like, fuck. Your TBI is showing, Casey.
This person asked, if you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
Me or Anna?
Both.
Oh, dicks.
I already know my answer.
I will have to let Anna answer this one first.
I would change absolutely nothing
about
champion. Myself. Yeah. God made me the way I am, baby, and I love myself, and God loves me, and I have a lot of things to work on. I'm not perfect. I definitely could be less selfish, could be more giving. Those are the things I'm working on currently this year for myself, but I wouldn't change anything. I mean, I think I'm such a cool girl, and...
Love it.
I mean, not to toot my own horn, but, like, once you get to a state of mind where you love yourself enough and you're just so comfortable with yourself and who you are, it's just, like, shit don't faze you anymore. Like, people who talking shit doesn't faze. People who think they know you or think they know shit about you don't faze me anymore. Like, I, like, was looking at something the other day, and it's, like, I think it was on TikTok or something, and it was, like, it's crazy that people have different versions of you in their head. So, like, people who knew you in high school have a
bartender Casey or contractor. I have so many fucking personas. I do. I have, like, redneck Casey, hipster Casey, fucking mustache Casey, fucking all of it, dude. I've got all of them. TDC, drug dealer Casey. Oh, God. I mean, if there's anything I could change about myself, I mean, I guess it'd just be a couple more inches.
In height?
Whatever you want. Wherever you want to take
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Oh, my God.
Guys, it's a comedy podcast. I gotta keep some laughs here.
Literally, my friend was like, amen, preach, selfish people live longer. There's nothing wrong with saying that, toot your own horn. There's just a difference between loving yourself and, like I said...
How many people are on our live?
Right now, there's only 3.
Okay, there was
Chantel's
12.
hitting it up. No, yeah, there was like 15 people at one point.
That's more than I've ever had. That's okay.
It's so awesome.
It's more people that listen to this podcast.
Like, fucking Sarah was on it for a hot minute asking a bunch of questions. Chantel's like, in height, question mark?
Yes, Chantel, we'll go with height. I got plenty of inches elsewhere.
Again, if you're on this live, we're talking about relationships, breakups, anxiety, depression, being single, dating. If you got questions, want advice, ask. Someone asked me, this one, as far as dating goes, plain hard to get.
Unattractive.
How is that different with guys and girls? Me personally, I'm a different type of breed. I don't play hard to get. I just really don't fuck with you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't fuck with anybody, and if I give you the time of day, then you're something special. Like, I don't play hard to get. I just am hard to get because I just don't give myself in a lot of ways, physically and mentally.
Oh, dropping fucking boom!
Breaking hearts over here, baby. But that's just me. I don't really like games. I'm like, if you like somebody, fucking tell them. If you want somebody, tell them. Like, why are we playing games and shit? My best friend, I don't know if she'll see this. She plays more games than I've ever seen a fucking girl do in my entire life. Like, talking to 5 million different guys, deleting their social medias, and then re-adding them. Like, just fucking games.
Mind games. And social media has implemented so much more of that. Like, I tell you what, man, fucking... I'm not a fan of hard to get. Like, if I like you, I fucking like you. If I don't, fuck off. Like, there's two of me. Fuck you or hey. You know, fuck you or fuck me. Like, those are the only two things I got in my fucking arsenal. If I don't like you, period. If I do, get on in. Like, I don't play hard to get, and I hate hard to get. Because if you're playing hard to get, I'm going to catch that as a point. You're saying I'm not fucking interested. Yeah, so if you're starting to like, hey, I'm not talking to you, I'm like, hey, go fuck off. Like, that's all that is to me. Like, I'm not a player. I'm a logical guy. Okay? I use logic. So if a girl stops fucking talking to me, and believe it or not, I see that as a sign. Leave her the fuck alone. Not all my other friends see that. Not a lot of guys do either. Me, though, you stop talking to me, fuck off. I ain't gonna talk to you, too. Like, it's not, oh, she wants it. No, it ain't the fucking case, dude. Chill the fuck out. Leave her alone and stop hitting the DMs. You got 7 messages that she hasn't responded to. Don't send another.
Also, too, if a girl does not follow you back on Instagram, she's not interested. That's 150 fucking %. I cannot even begin to tell you. If I do not follow you on Instagram back,
don't hit my
or
DMs.
Any of the fucking girls that, if the guys are listening, if you fucking follow them, they don't follow you back, we're not interested.
I don't think I've ever hit up a girl that's not following me back. Like, if there's guys doing that out there, bro, you're fucking shooting in the dark, dog. You're shooting way in the dark.
The time.
Instagram is not a dating service. Let me just put that out there now.
Yeah. Even if I am following you back, it's like I probably
you have cool content. Chill.
Yeah.
I don't want your dick.
Yeah, exactly.
I have friends out there that are like, I hate the name drop. It starts with an E and it's with Andre. So
starts with an E.
Yeah, no, because I didn't. Way to fucking make it way easier. Because you both know who I was talking about, but now everybody knows. But it's okay. To him, it's very like that. You know, it's... I'm just going to change the subject now. Anyways.
DeAndre.
Where are we at on our list? Do we have more questions or do we have more lists? Where should we move down on?
We still just have 3 people on. The next question, I don't understand this one, but we were going to discuss it. Someone asked earlier how to get past self-destruction / self-doubt after blowing up in an argument.
So maybe you are super upset that you overreacted in an argument and you're super hard on yourself. That's what I take that as. So you got pissed off at somebody and you were out of line, and rather than fixing the problem, you're hard on yourself. You say, like, I have friends like that they're just really, instead of just handling the issue, they just beat themselves up. And that's what I can kind of see that as, is maybe it's somebody that has a hard time getting past that point, and they just continue to harp on themselves until they just can't stop. So I personally don't do that. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
My thing in relationships, one of my flaws is I have a huge anger problem, and I'm so quick to react with how I'm feeling. So if I'm mad at you, like, I'll fucking blow up. I'll say a fucking few choice words. Are you
I need to talk about this now person?
No.
Okay.
I'm like, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Oh, I'm going to talk to you right fucking now. If there's a problem, we need to figure it the fuck out. And that could bug people too. Some people are like, dude, we're good. We're good, but this problem needs solved later. And I'm like, listen, I need to solve this now.
Yeah.
Like, for me. And some people just don't get that. And it took a very long time for me to understand that some people just, like, don't do that. Like, sometimes people gotta process, you know? Me, on the other hand, I don't fucking process. I'm just like, okay, be cool. If we need to talk about this more later, we can reiterate. But hey, I at least need to know, like, this is good. And then if we need to resurface it in a bit, that's fine.
Yeah.
And that's where I come from.
That's how I am. As far as that's my problem, is I just fucking get pissed. And then I need to calm down. And I'm one of those people, it's like, if you're trying to talk to me, like, straight after the argument, I'm like, I'm going to fucking still be pissed, even if we talk about this for an hour or two. Like, let me fucking
I think
chill.
that just might be a thing with women, too, though.
I don't know. I don't know a lot of girls that do it. Like, I'm one of those people, like, I'll storm the fuck out. I'll be like, I'll talk to you later. Like, it's really bad. It's really one of my flaws I've kind of realized. But I am also the first person to reach out and be like, okay, I'm calm. Let's talk. So regarding this question, as far as, like, blowing up and stuff, I feel like if you're the person that blows up, you got to be able to be the bigger person, too, and come back and be like, okay, I'm ready to talk. Let's figure this out.
I love the fact that Camden knows so much about wine. It's so cute. He's over here like, I was like, no, I want the wine. And he gives me the good pour. He works at Ruth Chris, ladies and gentlemen. He's on the market.
You work at Ruth's Chris?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's the man.
I don't eat meat, but what do you guys got there?
We have a
hey guys, we're on a podcast here. Come on.
He has a portobello platter.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
It's
that
got
sounds
mashed
really good.
potatoes, portobello mushrooms. Oh, it's delicious.
So someone said, Chantal, girl, she's like in this live all about it. To possibly address their question.
Ask her if she wants to come on sometime. Dude, she can
Yeah,
come on the show,
seriously,
girl.
girl.
Like this is a very open podcast. I do mobiles, I do everything. I got the studio, and hell, plan a day with Anna. She is definitely gonna be on here again. But she's not afraid.
I love to talk. So she said, possibly address their question, review the facts of the situation with someone. Okay, going off of this, though, this is one of the things I noticed with my past relationship, is you need to be careful who you're telling your relationship problems to. Because that's when people start getting into your relationship and having opinions. And that's when people are like, at the end of the day, your friends just want the best for you. So if you're saying I'm having this issue, like, my friends are like, fucking break it off. Break it up, get over it, like, blah, blah, blah. I'm the type of person, I'm like, you have to be careful what you say, because...
You can over-involve your friends.
For sure.
Like, I over-involve this motherfucker and everything.
For sure. And once people start having opinions, that's the issue. And when people start thinking they know your relationship and, you know, they start talking, that's where issues arise. So I don't tell my friends personally, unless it's really something heavy that I need advice on. Mm-hmm. But if it's something like a silly argument or something where I need to take a day or two, I don't think there's any problem with that.
I think it's like, I personally had a situation where I involved a mutual friend of the both of us in a relationship, and she became a middleman. And that's where it gets fucking hairy, dude. And so, going back to what you said, be really careful who you involve in your relationship, especially if it's somebody who really thinks they should be involved. Because that's somewhere it turns into dating three people, okay? You're not just dating your girlfriend, you're dating her friends, you know? And
amen to that.
Exactly. And that's okay in a way. Like, your friends have to like your guy. But it comes to a point where shit's fucking sacred. There's certain shit you don't share. Like, it's like, you know, hey, dude, like, I just took a shit today. I didn't fucking tell you about it. You know, I don't need to tell you about everything in my relationship. And I learned that the hard way. You know, I was very much like trying to think that would help with things. And by doing that with a friend instead of doing that with a professional, like a counselor or something like that, that person ended up becoming a triplet in the relationship. And that is just, nobody fucking wants that. That is complete hell, especially when that person's gay for your girlfriend.
Well, and like I said, I'm like, once you start involving other people think they know your relationship, they have opinions, they just think it's a toxic relationship, you need to end it. But at the end of the day, the relationship is you and that other person.
Yeah, and then that person will make it their fucking mission in the relationship at times, you know? Actually, let's give a quick shout out to the wine that Anna picked, because I'm about to
Do you
it.
like it? Oh, I'm like not in love with
now.
it, but it's all right.
All right, we are drinking on the Young Blood Podcast. Camden, would you like to say this for me, sir?
He's our server.
Close the voy.
Close the voy.
And you got a little accent there.
The
We
voy.
love that.
The voy. Stop flirting with my camera guy, woman. Sauvignon Blanc. Delicious. And we're also drinking 19 fucking Crimes, my absolute favorite wine. Sponsor me. 19 Crimes. 19 Crimes. It is out of Australia. It is fucking phenomenal. I drink all of it every day, all the time. I'm not an alcoholic.
Ooh, this girl's coming in hot with the question.
Oh, I'm over here talking about wine, and she's over here making
Sorry,
it happen.
I'm like reading this. She said, top 3 must-have characteristics of your next partner.
Ooh!
Damn.
You are killing it. Want to come on the show? Fuck.
You or me, baby. You or me.
I don't know. I'll go first. Let's see. Top 3. Strong communication. Patience, because I'm a motherfucker. And an open mind. That's the biggest thing. Because there's people that say they have an open mind, and there's people that act having an open mind. Because somebody that's like, I'm open-minded. Bitch, you're not open-minded. If you have to say you're open-minded, you ain't open-minded. The more times you tell yourself, I'm an open-minded person, you're conflicting yourself. You're clearly not very open-minded up there, so you're overcompensating to have to say it so much. If you're an open-minded fucking person, you never even have to say it. You're just like,
Yeah.
you're gay? Shit.
Yeah.
Why? Like, you're just cool with it. Like, it's not like, oh, you're gay? Like, there's so many fucking things that can make you a non-open-minded person, and that, to me, being just genuinely open with everything. Not weird shit, like, hey, I fucking kill people for a living. Like, no, like, to an extent, of course, but just have an open mind. Be somebody that can be comfortable, that can make others feel comfortable being themselves. Have a comforting presence around everybody, not just me. That's the 3 most important things.
Fuck. Mine might be like 5.
Oh.
My number...
She's got to go hard, baby.
My number 1, you gotta have God in your life. Now that I experienced a relationship where God is the center, it's a whole fucking different ride, baby, and it's a beautiful ride. And it's a ride that kind of relationship you want. So God in his life, someone genuine and good-hearted. That's what makes me fall the most. Is if I see the good in you and what you're about and how you love people and genuine good-heartedness, funny. You got to be fucking funny. If you can make me laugh, oh my God. And then probably someone who, I mean, is kind of like me. I want someone who's kind of wild, kind of out there, kind of social, like isn't afraid to be
They can be the
themselves.
best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Love God and love life.
Exactly. And I just, like I said, I'm attracted to somebody who's definitely more like me. I definitely dated someone who was the opposite, and it was fun, but when you guys are too different, it just doesn't work out. Like, I want someone who's on the dance floor with me that's like, baby, fucking shake your ass for $1, and we're both doing it. And I want someone who's like, okay, you want to fucking go to Spain? Okay, let's fucking plan this shit.
Trust.
Oh, and then probably, okay, then my 5th one is loyalty. Loyalty is sex to me. If you are fucking loyal, I'm the most loyal bitch that you'll ever meet, and that's a fact. Even when I shouldn't be. But if you are fucking loyal as hell, even without me having to ask,
Yeah.
oh my goodness. Like, that is the hardest thing to find, too, in a relationship, is someone who's loyal. And,
It's hard in the industry, people. We're all industry
it's hard
people,
anywhere,
right?
dude. I'm like, I've dated all my past relationships besides the most recent one. Everyone fucking cheated on me and was like talking to somebody else while talking to me. Like, such a fucking wreck. And it's like, you either want me or you don't. Don't fucking try to have your cake and eat it too. And it's a hard thing to find, is loyalty. Even when you're in a relationship, it's like, I remember I was like dating this guy one time, and he had like girls texting him, like ex-girlfriends, and I would see on his phone and kind of like sit there and be like, why is she texting you? Like, just sus shit. And it's just like, I want to be able to sit comfortably in a relationship where I know you're not fucking doing anything and I don't have to be
Or where
worried.
you know that they are texting people and you're like, oh, that's just fucking Becky, or whatever, you know?
Yeah. The most recent relationship was actually the only one I've been able to like fully trust the person. Other than that, I'm like, oh my God. Like,
I tell people, like, you, like, this chick right here, if she don't like you, you're out. That's an exact quote. I was like, you better get good friends with her, because if she don't like you, you can fucking hit the road, dude. Like, she's more important than you are, sorry. And that's an exact quote out of me. Like, loyalty to me is huge. Friendship, everything. Like, Camden, I'll fucking take a bullet for this guy right here. I would do it any fucking day of the week, any fucking night. This guy calls me 4 in the morning and says, I'm gonna go kill somebody. Like, where are we burying him?
yep.
Ain't gonna ask no questions other than, How and where?
David would
Never killed anybody before. Don't worry.
David would be like, okay.
Yeah.
David would be like, what the fuck am I wearing? Let's go, bitch.
David is your most loyal friend. That guy is Mr. David Flacco. I have to give you a shout out because you are the fucking McMahon.
David, Sophie, so I have a best friend in LA, Sophie, and then David here, and then I have a best friend in New York, Christy, and then I also have my other best friend in California too.
Christy, right?
Christy.
DeAndre and...
And then I have friends all over. I'm like a fucking free spirit. I'm like, I can make friends wherever. I'm gonna go anywhere and everywhere and make friends, but David's my fucking right-hand man, and Sophie's my fucking left fucking wing bitch, and...
Where do you want to end?
My next move is New York, and then I want to retire in Europe. So probably like Milan, Italy,
I've never left the country. I've never even been further east than Idaho.
Neither have I.
Actually, Utah. Utah's about as far as I've gone.
Neither have I. Paris is on my list. I wanted to go to Paris.
No, you've left the country, haven't you?
No, I haven't.
Huh?
My dream is to go to Paris Fashion Week or have fashion bring me out to like Milan and Paris, and I'm trying to
This
get
guy
there.
spent 6 months in Spain and didn't go to a club one time. What the fuck is wrong with him?
I'm not a club guy.
You're in Spain, bud.
It's so weird to me when people are like, I'm not a
It's
club
like-
person. I'm like, wait, there's people like that
No.
out there?
Like, sometimes I'll go out and, like, I just don't have fun. Like, it's not like I go to the club and it's automatically fun. Like, I have to be around
He's got to be with me. He's got to be with
you gotta
me.
be with
you
people
know?
who like fucking dance their
Literally,
ass off.
Camden-
Like, I can't just go out to the club by myself and be like, oh, yeah, that was a great fucking night.
You've got to be with me, bro. Every time. Remember when I first was going through my breakup and you looked at me and you're like, you're back. You looked at me, he's like, bro, you're scary back. Go away. Go back to where you were, dude. You're fucking out. Like, I didn't just come back. I was like, vengeance. Oh, vengeance.
Sorry, I'm like reading these things. Chantel said, what if the next person you involved with had all the items on your list but did not have a relationship with God or concept of religion?
That's a tough. Then no, it wouldn't work. Honestly, like I was in a relationship. Like I'm not super religious, but I still have a very heavy spiritual background. Like and like if I'm going through a lot of shit in life, and I look to you and I say, hey, dude, like I feel like I need to hit some church today. And if you look at me and you say I can't do that, you can go fuck yourself. Like that is the most fucked up. Like you don't have to believe in it, but shit, sit there. Maybe let me believe in mine. You know, support. You know, I'm not going to force my religion on somebody, but if you can, like it, going back to an open mind. If you have an open mind about my religion, I'll have an open mind about yours. You know, I'm not gonna convert your ass.
Yeah.
You know, but fuck, dude. Don't make me feel belittled for my faith. That's where I draw the line. But you know, you can have your faith in your ways. I can have my faith, and you can do it healthily. You can do it in a way that both of you are happy. But if you don't have an understanding for the other person's or a respect for the other person's faith, it ain't gonna work.
Exactly. You can't force religion on somebody, and somebody has to come to God on their own. You cannot force that, because once you start forcing it, it's not genuine, it's not real, it's not their journey that they want to go on themselves. It's the journey that they're trying to do to make you happy, and that's the worst thing you could possibly do. So yeah, it wouldn't work. And like I said, when you have a relationship with somebody who isn't to God as much as you, and you guys are sitting there talking about scripture, and you guys are going to church together, and you guys
It builds the relationship.
It's so
It builds a
different.
bond. And I didn't realize it until I dated somebody. My first girlfriend was extremely religious. She had a very strong connection with God. And it was kind of cool. And I was the one that was like, fuck that. At that time in my life, I was atheist. I was like, no, I don't believe in God. I think God's fucking bullshit. I have a full tattoo sleeve of astrology. I believe in the stars. That's where I was at. And I didn't realize how cool it was having somebody that had such a strong faith in God until after I didn't have that. And I actually reached out to them after the fact and said, hey, thank you. You know, thanks for always like pushing me to have that relationship with God. And thank you for that, because it's something that resonates with me to this day. And I can't do anything other than just say thanks. You know, and I literally reached out to them 2 years after the relationship just to say that. You know, and it took me being in a relationship with somebody who had that judgmental fucking standpoint where they just made you feel like, dude, your faith is stupid, dude. That's not okay. You know, and then, you know, it wasn't like you can go it was just like, I'm not about that. You know, like, it just genuinely made me feel like I shouldn't feel my faith. And that in any relationship, that's not okay. But to the question, you can work past that as long as you have an open mind.
Well, and like I said, it's like when you have a relationship with somebody who you both are investing your time into God, you need to both have that because it makes the relationship so different as far as decision making and, you know, just how you go about the relationship in life and the things that you guys go through. Like, it's just so different. It's so different. And when you don't have someone who's on that same level as you, it's hard.
Right.
And I'm sure people do it all the time, but for me personally, it's like, they gotta be into God.
Right.
They really gotta have God.
And that now, to me, like I said, open mind is more the important aspect. But I never thought I would be at a point in my life where looking for a relationship, I made that a major consideration. Like, they have to have some sort of faith with God or be comfortable with mine. Before, I was just like, I don't give a fuck what you think, what you feel. You got your feelings, I got mine. That's all cool. No, dude, that's actually really fucking important. It can cause a lot of problems because if you guys don't genuinely feel the same on a spiritual level, what the fuck's the point?
Yeah.
So we've got 1 hour and 45 minutes on the books so far. And I need you to ask all of your followers and your guests if they got any last questions that they want to throw on here.
Let's see. Somebody said, is Sophie the one that cries easily? I don't know what you're referring to. She does cry a lot, but it's usually because we're laughing.
So
really
that's
hard.
probably a yes.
And then she goes, is David the twerk team leader? Bitch, we both are. We can shake our ass for $1. If you've seen us out at Amsterdam, you know what's good.
I'll never say I have a favorite gay man,
She
but
said,
I have a favorite gay man.
and it's David Flacco. He's the gay man of the town.
He's so awesome. I'm not gay, but if I was...
He's the man. And she was like, those moral foundations are extremely important. All right, guys. Well, if you have any more questions or things you want to talk about...
now is the time. And while you guys decide on those, Anna, go through your list, see if there's any of the things you want to reiterate on before we give her a solid, beautiful, almost the longest podcast close. The longest one was, the longest one was 1 hour and 52 minutes with Kelsey. And I believe we broke that by like 5 minutes with Safe and Rondell. So we were at right fucking there.
I'm like, props to whoever has, if you're listening to this on Spotify or YouTube or whatever, and you're still fucking listening to this podcast, thank you.
Well, when I listen to podcasts, it's, okay, I don't necessarily pay attention very heavily. Like, podcasts are for me, it's something that I listen to when I go to bed. It's something that I listen to when I'm at work and I'm very busy and it's just I need background noise and I'm tired of music. And I switch it up, you know. And I'll go through a 2.5 hour podcast, no problem. But I'm also very passionate about podcasts. I think they're life-changing. I think listening, like, Joe Rogan dropped the episode with Elon Musk. His second episode. Did you see that?
I saw that they were doing it, and I was like, oh, fuck, I
dude,
can't wait to watch
I shared it on my page. I was like, dude, fuck yeah. And, like, I got fucking physically pumped. And I hope someday people get pumped just to hear and see. And I know Avery, he's like, oh, I watched your episode with DeAndre and all that. And I'm like, you just want me to do your tile. So I don't know if he actually watched it because my shit's dope, because the 2 podcasts he watched weren't necessarily my best ones, you know. So that's why, like, every show that we've done, we've grown here, guys. We've put the effort in. Camden sits here on his fucking free time, and thank him so much for that. Like, it's absolutely so detrimental to have somebody here doing it for me, because if he's not doing it for me, I have to sit here and manually change. And I did that with Clay's podcast, or with Matt's podcast, Matt Schroeder. That was the last episode I did. And I was actually the one behind the cameras on that. And it's much harder for me to do that because it takes away from the conversation. I go from focusing on what we're talking about to focusing on the cameras. And it's just a fucking lot for a guy with a brain fucking, you know. And thank you everybody who does listen, man. You guys are the reason I'm doing this. You're the reason I'm here. And if fucking you're not listening, I'm still going to keep fucking doing it.
No, seriously.
Do we got any final questions on there that anybody threw on?
The ones that I wrote down. If you're on and you're watching it now, if you want to talk about relationships, breakups, anxiety, depression, being single, dating, ask it now. If you want advice, topics to talk about.
The Tinder game's been pretty nuts, I guess. Me and Clay talked about it.
I fucking can't with Camden. Oh my god.
He's so good, isn't he? He goes down to the other room and he coughs.
Why is he fucking choking? That wine going down the wrong pipe or what?
That's pretty gnarly wine.
Something.
That's not just any regular like red wine. It's Punisher red wine by 19 Crimes. So it's actually like 16%. It's a little fucking strong.
Fuck.
It's really good wine though, guys.
But
sponsor me.
Again, if you're watching this or listening to this, thank you for listening. If we impacted you some way, shape, way, or form, loved what we had to say, please message me or Casey. Again, like, we're doing this because we just want to help somebody some shape, way, or form.
Shit, we're doing this for ourselves mainly.
I know, this has been so fucking therapeutic. I'm like, you have no idea. Literally talking about your shit is like the best thing ever. And that was another thing in my sermon. It was like, you just gotta talk it out. And that was another thing I read statistically. They said if you express your feelings more to other people and just talk it out,
right,
a lot of people get over the situation quicker versus people who don't communicate at all or hold it in. So remember that for next time when you're going through something. Remember,
guys, this has been the Miss Anna Waite, longtime friend, forever to be growing our friendship. I will never end this shit. Thank Mr. Camden Sutton for being on the cameras. Thank you, the listeners, for being here. And we're also going to have to thank Treasure Valley Barber Co. Treasure Valley Barber Co., guys, it's not the cheapest haircut in town, but it's the best, guys. It is the fucking best. They won't be opening on the 16th, just a little bit after. Go buy a sweatshirt. And also, what is it, Gem Spot? G-Spot? Clothing?
Gemstone Clothing?
Oh my god, sorry. Go buy their clothes. Go buy their clothes. I don't have my phone in front of me right now. G-Spot 18. G-Spot 18 is the code. I'm just kidding. It's not. I already gave them a shout out in the beginning of the show. I'm reminded if you really need it. Thanks for listening, guys. We are Young Blood Podcast, YOUNGBLOODPODCAST, all one word again, Young Blood Podcast. Guys, we are on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, the whole fucking 9 yards. Check me out on Instagram, YB.podcast, and fucking TikTok, baby. We out of here!